How to write a book with no experience. So you want to write a book, huh? You don't have any experience. Guess what? Nobody does when they first write their book, but that's okay. You can get through this. In this video, I'm going to show you 7 simple steps where you can publish a book with no experience. And no, you do not need a publisher. And we're starting right now. Don't forget also to subscribe to my channel. There's a big button down there. If it's red, turn it gray by subscribing, and ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified every single time I do a new video. Give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. Now, self-publishing is a pretty cool thing. I know I did a book in 2016 and it was called The Great American Food Shortage, and it was about how a illness would hit the world and cause interruptions in our supply chain of food in America. Well, they said I was crazy then, but after 2020 they no longer said that, did they? And that book did pretty well. But what I want to do is I want to share with you in this video all these steps so that when you get to the end, you're going to be confident that you can write a book, and you can do this. This is not hard. There aren't 70 steps. There's only 7 steps. It's really quite simple. Let's go back first to what publishing used to be and what it is today. Now, early self-publisher pioneers, okay, as we call them, we generally mean like creating and selling a book online, you know, outside the traditional publishing industry, in which publishing companies pay authors advances and royalties and working with them to edit, design, distribute the book. Now today, anybody with an internet connection can actually write a book and make it available to hundreds of millions of readers pretty much for free. The new challenge is to make these books bestsellers without the marketing might of, you know, HarperCollins behind them or something like that. Many writers have risen to this challenge, however, without the help of the typical methods. E.L. James, who wrote 50 Shades, that was self-published originally. Twilight fan fiction was self-published originally. A lot of these books that you see out there are self-published. I just bought one on YouTube, as a matter of fact, from Daryl Eves. Shout out to Daryl Eves out there, and I'll put a link to his book in the description below. But he looks like he self-published his book. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the book. You're still using the same traditional printers and all that. You're just not sharing a portion of your profits with some publishing company. You don't need to do that anymore. It's not necessary. I think you're going to see a lot of them go by the wayside. Now what this also does though is it opens up the market to anybody to write a book. So you're going to see a lot of bad books out there too, but not that the publishing houses haven't put out bad books over the years also. Now there's some distinct advantages to publishing your own book. First off, you get past all those gatekeepers who prevented you from publishing a book in the past. Now some of the things you're going to get is you're going to get the creative freedom. You're going to have full control over the content, the title, the length, the book cover design, everything. You're also going to have the option to collaborate with editors and designers, and at the end of the day, the only editorial approval you need is your own. The other thing is you're going to have a guarantee of publication. You know, a lot of times you would get a contract from a book company and they would say, well, we're going to buy the rights to that book, and you know, they would pay you a small fee in the beginning to write the book, and you get your fee and you'd write the book, and they would get it and go, we decided not to publish it. So now that you've sold the title and the rights to the book, you can't go do anything about it. You can't sell it to another publishing house. So that kind of, you know, that kind of hurts you a little bit when you put in all that effort and then the book never even gets published. The other thing is, if it does get published and you're using a traditional publisher, they're going to get the majority of the money. You're going to get a very small portion of the money. It's been said that the average person who publishes a book through a traditional publishing house that's not famous or something like that is going to make about $2,000 on a non-fiction book over the lifetime of the book. So that's not very good. That's, you know, on average books 10 years, that's $200 a year. That's not a lot of money to write a book. I've done some ebooks, I've done my own books, and I've made thousands of dollars on them by publishing them myself, by selling them myself, because I don't have to share the profits with anybody. I get to keep all the profits. Now step 1, write the book. Write the book. And it's really, I think, a lot simpler than a lot of people make it out to be. The first thing you want to do is just set out a goal that you want the book to achieve for the reader. Okay, what are they going to get when they read your book? Is their dog going to be better trained? Are they going to know SEO better? Are they going to know how to be able to cook gourmet food better? What is it about your book that the end user is going to get from the book? So write that out, plan that out, and then actually write the book. Now, to write the book, what I like to do is I like to write the names of the chapters first. Write the names of all the chapters and decide how long your book's going to be. So maybe you want 8 chapters, 10 chapters, 12, whatever it is. Just decide on that up front. Now the way I like to write is really to talk, so I'm going to pick a particular subject. So maybe the first one may be how I got into selling products online, and I'm going to talk for maybe an hour or 2 hours about how I did that, and I'm going to record it. And then once I record that, I'm going to have that transcribed into text, and I can use a service like rev.com, something along those lines. And once I have it into text, then I'm going to give it to an editor and I'm going to let them work on it. Don't look at what you spoke. Don't even look at it, okay, because it'll drive you crazy. Give it to somebody else, let them edit it, and then get it back, and then you read it, and then you make your edits, and then essentially your book is done. So you've written your book, step one. Number two, step two, you've edited your book. Now is design time. Design time is really important. I like to go to somewhere like Upwork or Fiverr and find people who specialize in designing book covers. I don't want to hire a graphic designer. I want to hire a book cover designer, somebody who that's what they do. They do book covers all day, all night. Now what you're going to find when you hire somebody like that is that not only will you get it quicker, but it's going to be probably better. If you have somebody who does graphic design and they generally do logos, they do websites, and then every now and then they do a book, they're not going to be as good. In addition to that, they're probably going to be more expensive. So I like to go into Upwork, Fiverr, look at some examples, give them my ideas, and you can hire somebody to do a book cover for 50 or 100 bucks. And I think a lot of times you need to look at what your time is worth. A lot of you will say, well, I can design my own book cover. I know how to do some graphic stuff. Probably a bad idea. Probably a bad idea. If you don't do this every single day, you're not going to come up with a book cover that looks good. And you know, there's the old saying, don't judge the book by the cover. People do. They do judge the book by the cover. So if you don't have a good cover, your book may not sell. So I would highly recommend you hiring somebody from one of these spots to do it. Number 4 is self-publish an ebook and a print book. You want both of those. Kindle is a great place to do that. You can have your ebook there, and they also have a big marketplace where you can actually sell it. Ingram Spark, you can actually have your book printed there. I also use Amazon to print my other books there. There's an area in there you can go in on Amazon and they'll print books for you, and they do a POD or print on demand, so I don't have to buy a lot of inventory. Now I do buy inventory, and the reason for that is my book on the Great American Food Shortage. A lot of times we use that as a promo when people are buying some of our canned meats. We sell survival foods. A lot of times we'll use that as a upsell on a funnel where somebody can buy the book too. So we keep a bunch of those in the office. It's easy to pop one in an envelope. They're paperback books, and get that out to somebody. But you got to decide how you're going to go about that. I like print on demand a lot. Print on demand is going to cost you a little bit more than if you print them and have them and ship them out, but it saves you all the trouble of having them and shipping them out and all that work that comes along with that. So for $1 or $2 more, I don't mind doing that. Number 5, if you're going to use Kindle, master the Kindle store. Okay, watch as many videos as you can on the Kindle store. I mean, just uploading your title incorrectly could get it less views and people won't see it, so make sure you do that. Number 6, market your book effectively. This is super important, guys. You know, just having a book doesn't mean people are going to come buy it. It just doesn't happen that way. Maybe you're going to want to run some ads where you're going to give away the first 2 or 3 chapters online where they can read it and then actually buy the book. Maybe you're going to want to do some promo videos for the book. You could do this through YouTube. Like, I'm not promoting my book now, but if you go to Amazon and search the Great American Food Shortage, you can find that book. Maybe I should put a link below. I'll put a link below to that book, but you've got to promote it somewhere. Maybe you've got Twitter, maybe you've got Facebook that you could promote it. In addition to that, maybe you have an email list. If you have an email list and people are already on your list, they already like you and trust you, odds are they're probably going to buy your book. Don't try to get rich off your book. Okay, if you can cover the cost of your book, that's all I ever try to do, is just cover the cost of my book and shipping it out, then it's a win for me. Because it's a win for me because it's like free advertising. It's out there. People are going to hang on to it. If you hand somebody a business card, they're likely to throw it away. If you hand them a book, even if they don't read it, they're likely to keep it on their desk or somewhere around or put it on a bookshelf. They're going to see it. So having a book is like a calling card, and it's free advertising. That was number 6. Number 7, create an awesome launch pad. And yeah, I think you should launch your book. I think it does a whole lot better than if you just put it in the market. If you have a build up to that book coming out, getting pre-sales, getting people interested in that, maybe publishing, you know, a chapter online so people can read it and see what it's about, and then saying, hey, we're taking pre-sale orders, they're going to be available in 30 days, they're going to be available in 40 days, whatever it is. That gets that excitement out there. And you may offer some specials. So in the beginning, if they buy your book in the beginning, maybe they get a free video training on something, maybe they get some free downloads, some free PDFs that are worth another $10, which actually cost you nothing once it's a PDF, but they get something special. Maybe they get a discounted price. Maybe the book's going to sell for $19, but if they pre-order, they can get it for $12 or $13. The idea is to get some sales in and get it going quickly. Now, the best marketing software to do stuff like this is Kartra. I will put a link below for Kartra. I love Kartra. Kartra is awesome. We do all of our marketing through Kartra, our email list, our sales pages, my courses, everything is on Kartra. So I highly recommend, if you don't have a good provider, even if you have what you think is a good provider, you need to look down in the description and watch the video that I have down there for Kartra. It'll blow your mind. You're going to watch it and you're going to want to switch over to Kartra, I promise. And if you do decide to get Kartra, you can actually get it for $1 under my affiliate link, so check that out in the description below. Now I want to talk a little bit about money, because you know, we all do things for money. Obviously, writing a book is not going to get you rich by any stretch of the imagination, unless you're, you know, a great writer, you're a Stephen King or something like that, or J.K. Rowling. For the most part, you don't get rich off a book, but what it does do is it gets you out there. It makes you an expert. It has people, you know, convinced that you know what you're talking about, because they can actually read it and they see that you know what you're talking about. The traditional way of making money on a book was to go to a publishing house and go through all that and maybe get a book deal, and if you did get a book deal, you were probably going to end up with about 5%. Indie publishing may pay you 10 to 20%, but if you self-publish and you price it right, you're going to be able to keep about 70% of that self-published price. So by doing that, you're gonna make a whole lot more money. So if money is in your mind, if that's the thing you're thinking about, self-publishing is the best way to go. I've never seen somebody say, I don't want to buy that book because it's self-published. They don't even know it's self-published. These books look the same on a shelf that any other book does. The only difference is we didn't have to go through gatekeepers. We got to publish a book when we wanted, how we wanted, and make it look what we wanted. I'm looking up here because I got a whole row of books up here, a whole bunch of them I haven't read yet too, but a whole row of books up here. I highly suggest you do the POD route, which is print on demand route in the beginning. That way you don't have to invest anything in inventory. I mean, that's pretty cool. You can go put your book in Amazon in their print on demand area, and they'll ship it out for you. They'll send it out. They'll take the sales. They'll do everything for you. Why would you want to take on the burden of buying 200 of your own books and having them set in the closet and then having to put them in envelopes? Like I said in the beginning of this, I do that with one of my books because we sell a lot of those, and it is cheaper if we buy them in the hundreds as opposed to having, you know, Amazon print them up. However, if it was a new book, I wouldn't do it that way. I would probably go print on demand until I knew what the demand for the book actually was. I hope this video helped you out. I hope you are convinced you can now write a book. I also told you I wanted to give you a freebie in the end. I have a course below. It's a $97 course. You can click and learn. Course is absolutely free, so check that out. Also, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down there and turn on bell notifications. Ring the bell, turn on all notifications. Even if you're subscribed, even if that red button, it better not be red, you got to click it, turn it gray. But once you've turned it gray, that just means you've subscribed to my channel, and you can find that in your subscriptions. It does not mean that you'll know when I do a new video. You have to turn on all bell notifications for that, and then I can notify you when a new video is uploaded or when I go live. Both of those things. In addition to that, give me a thumbs up if you would. That really helps the algorithm. If you have any questions about book publishing, on how to write a book, put that in the comments below. Any questions on making money online, put that in the comments below, and I love to hear your successes. So if you've had some successes, put that in the comments below too. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell right there so you can be notified every time I do a new video. Also, click on one of those videos there. Keep watching on my channel.